Hello and welcome to building big, juicy, glorious glutes with only dumbbells. The first part of this video is just gonna be showing you the exercises. The second part will be talking about, how to get better and other exciting tips. So make sure you wait for the end to actually get the full experience and the full breadth of knowledge. First and foremost, let's start out. I'm gonna get a little bit of pre-workout, non-stimulant pre going right here to help with my pump. Brought to you by Gorilla Mine with discount code BEEF to save at checkout for all your supplement needs. Sour gummy worm. All right, starting off with the best glute building dumbbell exercises. I'm not even gonna be one of those freaking video ops that's like, saving the best exercise for last. No, I'm gonna start out strong. I think this exercise is super underrated. I literally did it yesterday. I don't really see that many people showing it or talking about it, but also maybe I'm just like not on the right side of the internet. I don't know. But it's reverse deficit lunges. So this is how I like to set it up. This is for support. You don't need it. I need the support. I need all the support I can get, baby. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. And this thing here is what I'm going to be stepping off of. It's like, how many inches is that? A few. This is the supporting hand. This is the working leg. And then stepping off that. Stepping, whoop. There we go. This is what it looks like fully in action with a dumbbell. Key things to think about for this exercise. Although my hand is support right here, don't freaking rely on that. Don't freaking be grabbing that, freaking relying on that. Otherwise it's gonna be an arm workout. You wanna focus on working the working leg, all right? So that also includes this back leg that goes back. Don't be pushing off that super hard. Don't be putting your weight on that back leg. That's not correct. So I'm just barely just supporting with this back one. Here, I'm thinking about this glute, boom. Notice how my knee is not going over my toe like that. It's not this kind of lunge. I'm sitting back. I'm sitting back into that glute. The knee, the ankle are like more or less in line. Don't freak out about it, don't be too freaky, but just like more or less in line. And then obviously this one is a great one that you can use straps if you work up to a heavier weight and you're like, wow, my grip strength is not that strong, which is totally okay. Look at this and look at this. Which one do you think is stronger? Don't answer that, it's this, okay? So straps. That is the reverse deficit lunge. Next exercise. All right, I've seen this one gain a fair amount of popularity in recent years. It is the RDL. Now, I will be honest with you. I usually don't do RDLs, okay? I usually do stiff leg deadlifts, and that is just a personal preference of yours truly. I'll show you both though, just so you can see. They're very similar. The difference is in the knee bend. The knee bend. Let's go. For the RDL, we want to start about, hip width apart. Dumbbells in front of us, kind of, how do I explain this? You like tuck your armpits, kind of squeeze backwards, so you're not like this. Not like this, none of this gamer posture. We want a little whoop. Then you're gonna push your hips backwards. The RDL is one where your knees will bend. So it's like, Yep. And depending on your physiology, it might look a little different on your body, but that's okay. Playing around with it, see what feels right, experiment, record yourself so that you can see the video. Maybe you look at the video, you're like, holy moly, that doesn't look correct at all. Now you know, now you can change it. All right, right, some people don't feel that in their glutes or feel it anywhere, or it's just like really difficult for them. And they prefer to do a single leg RDL or a B stance RDL. Try it out, experiment a little bit. So you can, this is the B stance. Whop, whop. All right, you can go like straight. I like to kind of almost do a little twisty that I saw someone doing once that I was like, hey, I'm kind of into that. So it's kind of like, how was it done? Like this. Wow. To like kind of feel, how can I do this so I'm not just straight up mooning you? Like that. Wow, twisting. So the B stance is a good option. Okay, final variation, I guess. Technically, it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same, let's be honest. The stiff leg deadlift, your knees aren't gonna bend as much. So for the RDL, you may or may have not noticed. I was kind of like pushing my hips back like that with my knees bent. For the stiff leg, it's very much like this. So you'll see. Feel a lot more in your hamstrings. There's a much greater hamstring stretch than a regular RDL. All right, and that concludes our RDL stiff leg deadlift dumbbell exercise. Next exercise has been like probably the one that everyone's like, yeah, this is the one. The hip thrust. So, bench. Kind of like mid-back level, I'd say, more or less. You don't want to be like right on your shoulder blades. That's insane, don't do that. Like mid-back, I'd say. Don't do that, okay? I saw a video the other day of someone saying, this is what you want to do. I have not been reading up on all the, data, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of data, or at least a lot of firsthand accounts saying, wow, I have a lot of back pain doing hip thrusts. It's because you're freaking doing that. Don't do that. You're literally lifting with your back. Keep your core straight, tight. Toy like a toidle, okay? That's your glutes. Think about it. Whoop-ah! Squeeze a little at the top. We're flat. We're a table. We don't gotta be like, wah! You don't gotta be all freaky diggy like that. You ain't gonna do that, okay? Just nice. This is a dumbbell that I can obviously pick up and put on my lap, so I'm able to do that. I put it on my lap. This is the way I set it up. If you set it up differently, or if you see a better way to set it up, please do it the way that's more comfortable and feels safest for you. I will not be offended, but this is how I'm doing it right now. There we go. Get into position. It's resting on our lap. Yup. More or less at a 90 at the top of the table, and knees are kind of pushing outward. Not like crazy, not crazy frog status, but I'm aware that it's happening. If you want to add a little extra resistance, you can get a hip circle, a booty band, wide band, whatever you want to call it. Up here. I put it like almost mid-thigh, a little bit above the knee, and what? Yes. I'm so activated right now. I'm really doing it. And dismount. Dumbbell hip thrust complete. All right, next exercise is pretty similar to the first one, actually. It's a step up, yay! So I'm pretty sure there was like a study, and studies are coming out all the time. Everybody's studying. We got a bunch of scholars out there doing book stuff. We got a lot of studying going on. Anyway, I did see a study that was talking about the best exercises for glute growth and step ups were actually way up there. Now, I like to have the step about knee height. This is how it's gonna look with a dumbbell in one hand and a support in the other. Ready? Again, kind of same concept. You don't want to be freaking pulling yourself super hard up here, otherwise it becomes an arm workout. And we're trying to work this down here. We're trying to work the bottom. We don't want to be jumping off of it. It's just a light tap, a light support. Ready? This is what it's looking like. Now, if this with the dumbbell is too difficult for you, obviously, you can ditch the dumbbell. If that's too hard at above or at knee length or height, apologies, not length, at or above knee height, this is how you can make it easier. Whoa, whoa. It's lower, all right? So it's less of a step. So you'll still be doing a step up, and you'll still be working your glute, it just won't be as intense. And then as you get stronger at this motion, you can add your height back up until you get to height, and then once you're good at that, you add some weight, and once you're good at that, you just keep going, and then you're off to the stars. Dumbbell step-ups. Next exercise is everybody's favorite exercise, gained huge, I would say, not popularity, well, popularity, mostly infamy in recent years for being most hated and highly anticipated, the Bulgarian Split Squat, yeah! All right, I don't like doing it on the bench. I actually like doing it with a barbell, but I feel like that's a little extra since we're doing just dumbbell workouts. My gym has this little attachment, which is very similar. It's basically the same thing as doing it with the barbell. And I like this better because I like to kind of wrap my ankle around it. It feels more stable. Versus on the bench, it's like, I don't know, I don't like it. It's scary. Just kidding, I just don't like it. I'll show you the little hack that everyone does to set it up. So start by putting your rear foot on it, sit back, leg out, stand up. This is starting position. There's actually two different ways to do Bulgarians. One is more quad focused, the other is more glute and ham focused. First, let me show you the quad one. Notice how my freaking knee is like way over my toe. Anything kind of like that is gonna recruit more quad, all right? This is the more generally glute hamstring one. You sit back into it. You sit back. So you're sitting back. And if this setup feels weird for you, if you do it and you're like, hey, I know this works for most people and it is like the stream right now, I'm kind of a salmon and it doesn't feel right for me. So you can totally set it up a different way if you want. Experiment if it doesn't feel right for you. What's right for one isn't right for everyone. You're special! All right, with the addition of one, count it, one dumbbell. All right, next we got a universal fan favorite, but actually maybe not the best glute builder. Oh, what? Yeah, that's right. It's squats. So I'm gonna show you a variation with the dumbbell that is a little more glute focused, and then I'm gonna show you the one I like the best just because I'm rowdy and I like quads more. All right, so this is the more glute focused variation. It is a wide stance squat, all right, dumbbell squat. I feel like sometimes people go crazy with like the sumo like this and they're like, the sumo's for the glutes. Not necessarily. You can do like, you know, something that's comfortable. You ain't gotta be in like a full pose 28 middle split. I'm gonna just be comfortable like this, right here, comfortable. And I'm sitting back into it. Sitting back, squeeze them glutes, baby. Squeeze it. Yep. Or I mean, if you wanna hold it like frickin', yeah. I don't know what that was. If you wanna hold it like that, you can hold it like that also. All right, now this is definitely a quad dominant variation. And I know this is a glute video, but I just wanna show it to you because I hear a lot of goblet squat hate, all right? I hear it, and I will not tolerate it. I will not tolerate the goblet squat hate. Is it the best squat variation? Realistically, no. It's very hard to overload, but I really like it also because I'm like a quad queen. I like working the quads. But with the heel elevated, oh frick yeah, so much quad action. And then look how far those toes can get. I mean, how far those knees can get over those toes. But this is a great quad one. Not that the other one doesn't also hit your quads, but this will just be like a little more intense. 2-for-1 special, dumbbell squat. All right, so obviously those are not all of the exercises that exist, but I think those are some of the best. To be honest, I think some of those are like legitimately for real, honestly, seriously, some of the best ones in my opinion, especially for dumbbell variations. Now, how to get better? I would say the most obvious answer for like progressive overload, whatever, getting better, increasing, would be to increase weight. If you have a selection of a bunch of weights, that's awesome. That's obviously like reasonable for you. If you literally only have one weight, there are other options. I would recommend perhaps investing in a larger weight if that's possible. If you don't have that option right now, time under tension is big. Time under tension means like during the more challenging time where it's like the stretching time, the stretching of the glute, slow, you take it slow. And then when it's like the contracting, you contract. 3 to 4 seconds, especially just like that's a good time in my personal opinion for increasing the difficulty, but play around with it. Lastly, another option that might seem relatively obvious is increasing reps or sets. For most of these exercises, I do have the luxury and the blessing of being able to use more than one weight set, so I can use a heavier dumbbell. In that case, I usually challenge myself in the reps 2 or 3 sets of usually 10 to 20. I know that's a big range, but it really depends on the exercise. Some of the exercises are hard to weight load. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, but I would say experiment with the rep ranges. Generally between 8 and 10 is also a good place for hypertrophy, generally speaking. But again, it is difficult to pinpoint that when you don't have a ton of options available for, you know, your weights and your equipment. If you want to get bigger, you need to eat more, okay? I know, for some of us it's terrible. For others, it's a joyous moment of celebration, but it is what needs to happen. Most people, in my personal experience, just don't eat enough protein. So whether you're trying to get bigger or whether you're trying to just, you know, maintain your muscle, if you're not gonna track what you're eating, that's fine. Tracking is not for everybody. But if there's one thing you should at least be aware of your protein, please. I have friends right now that tell me, oh, it's so hard to eat more than 40 grams of protein a day. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's really not. Please just track it a little bit. I believe in you. You should believe in you too. My last recommendation for this would be you might want to consider adding an extra leg day into your workout scheme and working out really intensely. Like if you're freaking the most intense guy or girl or person ever and you're like, you know, one might really be enough, but maybe consider adding another one. That being said, also make sure you're getting enough rest, sleep, rest days. Give your body time to recover, because if you're just always destroying it in the gym, you're gonna be destroyed. you know, you need to rest and recover and grow. So that's also very important. Please remember that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope this video was beneficial to you. If it was, or even if it was not, and you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I'd also super duper appreciate it. I know it's so annoying. Please, if you could literally like this video, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel so that I can see you in the next video. Please leave a silly comment or a comment letting me know maybe another glute exercise that you really love that wasn't included in this video. I would love to know it. And maybe a recommendation for another video you'd like to see. Wow. Anyway, that's it. Thank you. Take care and adios.